Hey everyone, this is Tinkering with B-Hav and I'm B-Hav. I'm sorry, but that's a little funny. I was watching some videos on how to make better content and it said that I should step into the frame after I start. So you got to let me know what you think about that. But anyway, the video I'm making today is I'm making my own Evaporust. I had been buying it and it's a little pricey. It's about 35 bucks for a gallon of it, and you go through it pretty fast. It lasts a little while. You can get I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 uses out of it before it starts to not work so well anymore. But I found a guy on YouTube that taught you how to make your own. I mean, Evaporust's compound is proprietary, and they don't tell you what's in it. Nobody knows what's in it, but this guy's a chemist. At least that's what he says. And he came up with a solution. He did some tests on his YouTube page, and it looked like it worked pretty good. And it was inexpensive materials. I actually had everything I needed to make it right here in my house. So I'm going to give it a shot. And his formula was you use water. I got 2 liters of water here. I did 1 liter, right? So 1 liter of water, and then 100 grams of citric acid powder, which I had because I've been using it to remove rust. But the Evaporust works way better than just citric acid alone. The guy in the video went through and explained exactly why. He went through all the chemical stuff, and I didn't understand most of it because I'm not a chemist, but it worked. And also, then you put uh, baking soda, right? So, and at a specific amount of baking soda, which I have my little scale here, and I weighed it all out and got the right amounts. And then he said, then you put some dish soap in it to act as a surfactant. And I don't know exactly what that means, but those were his words. And so I made some. I made up a batch, and it looked just like what it did when he made it on his YouTube page. So I've poured some of it in here, and I'm going to take this part off of that Camp Cook lantern. And if you look, it's pretty rusty. So I'm going to put that in here, and we'll test it. We'll come back and look at it after about a half an hour, and we'll see how it looks. So here we go. I'm just going to set it down in there, and we'll leave it set for a half an hour. And that's that. We'll be back to see how it goes. Okay. Now it's been about 45 minutes. I lost track of time a little bit. So let's pull this out of here and we'll see if we can see any difference. The solution looks the same to me. Let's see here. Well, there's some rust falling out of the inside of it. Get a towel, excuse me. We'll dry it off here a little bit and we'll take a look at it. Well, I tell you, the parts with no rust on it are awfully shiny, and it's looking pretty good, but it looks like the rust is still there. Maybe it just needs more time. It might have been some pretty heavily rusted parts. So you can see there's still quite a bit of rust on there. So you know what? Now I'm going to put it back down in here, and we'll let it sit. We'll give it a couple of hours. So I'll come back a little bit later tonight, maybe after dinner or something, and pull it out, and we'll see if it made any difference. It's definitely doing something. It did something to the area that didn't have any rust. And it looks like the rust is less than it was. It still feels a little rough. So we'll put it down in there, and we'll let it soak for a while longer and see what happens. Sometimes I leave stuff in Evaporust for 24 hours or even longer sometimes. So I'm going to put this back down in here, and we'll see what it does. So I'll come back in a few hours, and we'll give it a look. Well, it's been a couple of hours, and now we're going to check and see how my parts looking in my homemade Evaporust. Well, let's see here. Ooh, it's definitely looking better. I don't know if you can see, but a lot of the rust up near the top here is going away. It's not perfect yet, but we can still leave it in there longer. It's only been a couple hours since my last check-in. So I'm going to put it back down in here, and I probably won't check it again until tomorrow. So I'm going to put it in here and probably leave it in there almost 24 hours, and we'll see what it looks like after that. But it is definitely working, and for the cost savings and doing this, I mean, I've got $1.50 worth of material in making this instead of $35 for a gallon of the other stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put this back in. We'll let it sit till tomorrow, and I'll take it out and we'll see what it looks like. Hey, we're back, and it's been about 24 hours since I put my piece into my homemade Evaporust here. We're going to take it out and see what it looks like. Okay, well, I think it's looking pretty good. Give it a little wipe here. A towel. Okay, well, if you look at that compared to yesterday, I don't see any rust per se. There's still some discoloration of the metal, but it might be just a little pitted. It feels not quite as smooth, but that top looks really smooth. I bet if I hit that with some steel wool after it's really dry, it'll actually come out looking pretty good, but there's no rust on it. And that's the whole point of it, is it's Evaporust, supposed to get rid of the rust. So I'll try it with some more pieces that are rusty, and we'll see if it still does good. I think it did really good. I'm very pleased with it. Uh, yeah, and for the cost savings, I mean, it's well worth it. Well worth it. You can look at the color of it. It's changed color a little bit. It's got a little bit of a green tint to it now. This is the big bucket that I mixed it in. If you can see that in there, that's not green at all. It's definitely a lot more clear. If you look down it, it's a little soapy, but that's about it. So, uh, so my ratio, I don't know if I told you in the video yesterday, but the ratio is 1 liter of water, and it was 100 grams of citric acid, and then you put in 68 grams of baking soda, and that fizzes up a lot. And then it'll release all carbon dioxide out of it, and you keep stirring it until the fizz is gone, and then it just looks like clear liquid. And then you put a little dish soap in it as a surfactant, like the guy said, and that's it. That's all I did put in there, and it definitely got rid of all the rust on there. So I will definitely be using this often when I need to Evaporust. I don't know if I'll ever buy any more, so we'll see. It doesn't look like it damaged the metal in any way. So okay, well, that's my homemade Evaporust test. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you see, give it a follow or a like. Share it with your friends. Do all that stuff. I'm on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. Tinkering with B-Hav. This is Tinkering with B-Hav, and I'm B-Hav. Thanks for watching.